IVM.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Kolkata Derby. Sorry. This is the TFG Indian Football Podcast, but we will be talking about the Derby. And Chiranjeev with a giggle at the back. He is on the phone and I'm here in the studio. We will be talking about Indian football, a blockbuster weekend that we had. And obviously when it's Kolkata football, we talk about Kolkata football. Chiranjeev, how are you doing? Are you okay there?
Yeah, well, I'm sitting right next to Shahid Minar, Kolkata. It's a favorite, famous monument, and there's a park nearby, and I found one of the empty benches and sat down. So I'm in a public place, so apologize in advance if you hear a little bit of background noise here and there. There's a lot of people around. So Monday happens to be a travel day for me. Usually Sunday a good game happens, so Monday I get out of that place. It's pretty calm out here, Kevin. Right in front of me. If I seal my eyes over the trees, I can see the floodlights of the Mohammedan Sporting Stadium, and I can also see one of the floodlights from the Mohun Bagan ground. So if I just take a walk from here, within 3-4 minutes, I'll reach the Mohammedan Sporting Stadium. From there, if I go down the Goshtopal Sharoni, I will reach Mohun Bagan Stadium. But before that, if I take a left into Leslie Claudius Lane, I will be reaching the East Bengal Stadium.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chiranjeev. Thank you so much for the touring preview that you gave us.
You can imagine, I'm sitting right where all the action happens in Kolkata football,
yes.
And it's pretty calm. Nobody has died. Nobody is having a heart attack. Nobody seems to be losing their mind, and nobody seems to be beating up each other. So we're all good on that front, Kevin.
All right, I think so. That just gives you a small gist how happy Chiranjeev is after being finally beaten.
I'm not happy at all, man. Did you see the match last night?
Of course. I can still see the scoreline in front of me, and I think the scoreline matters. And it doesn't, you don't take into account what happened in the match.
That matters, man. Come
it
on,
does.
Man. The scoreline is bullshit.
It is.
That scoreline is total bullshit.
Just because Mohun Bagan is beaten, you don't want to look at the scoreline now.
No. See, East Bengal won fair and square. If you saw the game yesterday, to be fair, I have not seen East Bengal play that kind of football since forever. Did you see the way they were stringing together passes and within third or fourth pass, the Mohun Bagan defenders didn't have any idea where to be. The way they played completely massacred the plan the Mohun Bagan defense had created to play some positional marking and try to stop them. It just did not work. And we can clearly see that what Alejandro is doing with this East Bengal team, it's working. It's not the prettiest. It's not like a pure Spanish football or something like that. But it's pushing the players, existing players, to use their skills to the optimum level. They had a little bit of a hiccup earlier, but now it's working. So East Bengal were the better team last night, and it's actually fair that they won the game.
Oh yes, right? Finally we heard it from you.
Yes, it's completely fair. They were the better team and they won the game. No surprise there. But just the way Venkatesh just did the things, man, and the referee, it just leaves a bitter taste in everyone's mouth because Mohun Bagan fans can have a lot of excuses and they can point out, okay, the referee did this, the referee did that, stole the game from us. East Bengal fans can't be 100% full of brags about this derby win that they've got after 33 months. The last time they won a Kolkata Derby, it was 33 months ago. That's a long time to go without winning a derby, and finally they can celebrate. But I think the bad refereeing is just putting a lot of water on all over that.
I think the referee issue is something that we'll have to work with at the moment till we don't have a concrete solution in place. And not talking about decisions that's not going your team way. So obviously the red card is I think where we are headed. And to me, I think we can give it to the referee. Probably he may not be in the best of angles to spot that, but it's somewhere what the referee sees at that moment. It's not what we see on TV.
No, those are the red card. Red card. I don't have like the second yellow card. I'm not that worried or mad about. The first yellow card was a little bit light. I mean, you did not have to like give a yellow card that early in the match for that kind of a soft touch. Okay, and then the same referee just turns a blind eye when Borja commits a handball directly inside East Bengal's box, which should have been a penalty to Mohun Bagan and a yellow card there. He ignores that. Dika gets fouled just outside the box. He fails to spot that as well. So, I don't know, man, maybe I'm a little bit biased or it's something else. It did seem like the referee was a lot more lenient towards East Bengal than he was towards Mohun Bagan. One thing, though, is that the offside thing when East Bengal equalized, the first goal by Laldan Mawia.
Yeah.
At that moment, it seemed like an offside, but the replay shows he was not offside. So the linesman had it correct. That goal completely stands. Right? So all the Mohun Bagan fans who are complaining about it, they're completely wrong. That goal was legit, but Mohun Bagan should have had a penalty. And imagine if when they're 2-1 down, they get a penalty, which they really earned. Then it becomes 2-2 and the game just plays out very differently from that point.
Now just coming back to the offside, the equalizer, I think to me, in the first instance, it did appear offside. In a way, the Mohun Bagan defenders were stalled there. Now, I think they just lost the man completely, and they were just too confident that it would be called out as offside. Probably, I think that is where it made it look like as if it was possibly it was offside, but to me, I think they just lost the man over there, and they gave in, just gave it too easily to be called out offside. I think it was a last minute attempt.
I think they all genuinely thought it was offside. They were turning towards the linesman. You could even see like for a moment instead of keeping an eye on Laldan Mawia, Shankar was turning his head partially towards the linesman, but he checked himself at the last moment. But let's not take anything away from Laldan Mawia. The guy was amazing last night. The way he found himself in the right places at the right time. The way he just pushed through. You don't score 2 goals on a derby night by accident.
Yeah.
Right?
But
and there's something to be said.
Just coming back to the point, the way the goals were scored, I think, each of the goals that was, scored, it had, each one was better than the other. High quality goals, and at a time, where things were working so closely, the scoreline was so close to each other, and East Bengal, to some extent, I thought they were a little bit complacent after the red card was shown, and that just led to Mohun Bagan, brimming with confidence over there, and probably that gave in, and Mohun Bagan deserved that second goal that came in.
Yeah, definitely. Like Mohun Bagan did not give up. They were always fighting till the end. Even like when you are one man down and the opponent is 3-1 up, it's very easy to sort of get distracted and lose sight of the game, which is what happened for the third goal actually. Like that's when the second goal happened and they had a fight with the referee. They had zero concentration when the free kick was being taken, and they paid the price for it. The third goal happened, but it was. I think the coaching strategy actually just took away from all this deal that they showed. Like the coach should be encouraging players who are doing well, not just substituting them off. Like Azhar bin Malik scored the early goal. Mohun Bagan took the lead. Then before the first half is over, he is substituting him off.
Yeah.
I just don't have any idea. Like, okay, he's the under 22 guy. Okay, you want players to play a slightly different role. You want a winger in there instead of like pure striking role that Azharuddin was playing. But the kid just scored a goal, right? If after scoring a goal in a derby you get substituted within like 15 minutes of scoring, then what is the point? Like this just does not make any sense to me. Maybe Shankar Lal had some extra plan that he thought he could implement, but again, it did not go his way. Right after Fayaz came on, East Bengal took over the game.
Yeah.
Right? It just completely was not Mohun Bagan's control anymore. So it's a wrong decision to make. If it had worked out, if Fayaz had gotten an assist or two, then maybe Shankaral would have been justified. But you have a young player who has come out from your own academy, who is going in big games and scoring. You don't sub him off after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's not the way to go.
I think it was important to take note that the East Bengal were letting in few from the wings, and just the way the first goal was scored, that's easily beaten from the left wing.
The thing is, Mohun Bagan did not have a midfield. It's the wings that they ever had any chance from. Right, Omar went up from the left wing, came in with the cross. Azhar scored the goal. Even later on, it was the wings that were creating chances. But that's mostly because Mohun Bagan have to put their pressure in there, because ever since Pierre Boya left, Mohun Bagan midfield has never been right. And even this season, they made sure that they were going to have weak midfield in the transfer market itself. They did not find a positive attacking midfielder who was able to control the game from the midfield. So I don't know if that's a problem with East Bengal defense or a problem with Mohun Bagan midfield.
I think that's exactly what you're putting it is exactly where the game was. The wing and the midfield, so cohesive in the center of the field. East Bengal were able to make those one-touch passes and get that third man run. That small triangles that we're making. I think Mohun Bagan probably did not expect that would happen, but I thought a second half could have been a bit more a composed game from East Bengal, but they for a moment I thought they were complacent, after the red card, probably leading to it could have been an equal fight had both teams had 11 on the field. But it is football. It is the Kolkata Derby. You expect some the big things to happen there. And it was, if there's no talking point there, it's not the derby then.
But imagine, what about Joby Justin, man?
What a finish.
What about Joby Justin? That goal, man, he scored a goal like that in the derby, his career is made. And even when he's like 80 years old walking around somewhere, somebody will stop him in the road and talk about that goal. He's become a hero for life. This is the kind of goal that defines careers.
Yeah.
Dika had a goal like that. Lalman Mavia has become a hero now. Joby Justin as well.
Yeah.
It's just great to see three goals that East Bengal scored in a game, blockbuster game like this. Also came from India. That shows you something, that this team has a strong Indian coach, and we can take the discussion in two ways from here. We can talk about whether Joby Justin should have been called up in the national camp, or we can talk about how East Bengal have a strong Indian coach. Where are we going, Kevin?
I think what I could just pick up from here is Ralte for the set pieces that he had. He's just so instrumental over there. The goal also came in from that free kick, and just beautiful how East Bengal and Mohun Bagan up their game when the derby is there. Stakes are high. There was that points for grab. There was this ranking that they could push up in the league table. They just bring out the best in the derby, and that just makes it so beautiful to watch.
Yeah, everything. And look, it feels like if you have the right coach, right Spanish coach, a club in India can have a really good run. But if you have the wrong Spanish coach, it can just completely take you down the drain. Like, this Delhi Dynamos is also trying to play Spanish football, and East Bengal also trying to play Spanish football. It just looks, upside down. What is the difference, man?
I don't know. It does depend on how your trends are. When you are not having the skills that match your philosophy, match your playing style, it really will not work in whatever combination. So on that note, we will take a break, and on the other side we will talk about more on the Indian football, specifically about I-League, and that's coming up on the other side. Stay tuned, come back to us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another great week on IVM Podcast. If you aren't following us on social media, please make sure you do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If you guys want to catch Cyrus's rant on Cyrus Says Live, you can definitely check out Instagram. We kind of publish that live every time we're doing it on Tuesday afternoons. Make sure you check in for that. On Cyrus this week, actually, we had a really great guest, Roshan Abbas. Roshan talks about a wonderful career spanning radio, TV, live events, entrepreneurship, and now he's an author too. It's full of funny stories, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. On Simplified, Chuck, Naren, and Shrika simplify the central banks and RBI, how they work, and why they've been making the news off late. On the 99th episode of The Seen and the Unseen, Amit is joined by lawyer and policy analyst Ameya Naik. They talk about the rules and institutions that keep populist readers in check and how they are being meddled with. On Vartalab, Akash and Naveen have a fun and insightful chat with Nikhil Udupa and Himanshu Vaswani. They're the founders of 4x4 Experiences and have created Control-Alt-Delete, India's largest crowdsourced live music gathering. On the first 3 episodes of The Habit Coach, Ashton talks about dopamine, fidgeting, and melatonin. Episodes are out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Give it a listen to improve your habits. On Football Twaddle, the boys discuss Chelsea beating Manchester City, the Raheem Sterling incident, and the Aubameyang incident. On Geek Fruit, Dinkar and Jishnu get into the holiday spirit by discussing the best Christmas movies of all time and their favorite Christmas songs. And with that, on with your shows.
Welcome back after the break. I call you to my house. I don't give you a place to sit. You say you come to my house. I'll give you a tit for tat. That's exactly what happened between Gokulam and Real Kashmir. That's in short what I tried to put up in a gist, but a whole lot happening in the game that ended 1-1. So Real Kashmir visited Gokulam, and things got a bit heated up. Twitter handles bringing out details for the public that didn't know what was happening on the ground. We had clubs acting like as if they were really run as personal accounts. In the end, it's all about the match. It's all about football. And I-League, getting all this outside the Kolkata Derby is beautiful. I think I enjoyed this, but fair and square result. Chiranjit, what did you make of this tidbits that happened prior to the game?
Well, I don't know, man. It looked like less like a football league and more like an episode of Big Boss earlier, man. It's like, yeah, ye theek nahi hai, wo theek nahi hai, every problem ho raha hai. All that shit just went down between the two club social handles, and Omar Abdullah got involved. It was like hilarious. But see, Real Kashmir have to sort of understand, like, strikes are big in Kerala, right? And if they come to Kolkata and there's a strike happening, same problem might happen. Nothing will run on time. And those guys told them that we will take you to your training ground, which was at the medical college. And because BJP has a strike going, the bus will come late. And these guys did not wait for the bus and just walked into the main stadium, which is the EMS stadium in Calicut, which they were staying nearby. And then, of course, it's going to have a problem. Of course, they're not going to have a proper training pitch because it's not the training ground. It's the main stadium. You can't use the main pitch for practice. So, yeah. And the area near the pitch is obviously not curated for playing football.
Right.
So, I just don't know why they could not wait for another 30-40 minutes. I understand it's a foreign coach who is used to everything running on time. But come on, this is literally India. Everything cannot run on time, especially when there is a strike is happening, because then the host club has to think about security. Because in Kerala, if you have a bus out on the day of a strike, people throw stones at it, and they don't even know who's inside. They don't care, and they don't understand that this is a football team that needs to be taken to practice station. So some understanding has to be there from the away team's part. And usually the clubs who have been playing in a league for a while, they are professional and they understand the situation. I think it's a combination of a foreign coach who does not understand what a strike means in Indian states, and some officials who have not been around that long for I-League. And I don't see that much wrong in Gokulam Kerala officials telling the Real Kashmir team to leave the pitch because they were actually not allowed to be in that stadium at that point. So, and apparently there was some back and forth, words said, and then allegedly Gokulam Kerala FC, the officials were threatened by Real Kashmir and said, you come to Kashmir, we will show you what the real Kashmir is. Like, this is, again, there is no video of it, of those words being said, but if it was said, unfortunate. Why would you make things worse when it did not need to? Because ultimately, what at the Gokulam Kerala FC people were trying to do was to ensure the safety of these people.
Yeah.
Of the players, of the staff, the coach. Because what happens? Just to be on time, if they just send out a bus and it passes through a procession and the people start throwing it. Like, how much worse it would have been if the Real Kashmir bus had actually been targeted by people during the strike. It would have become a national scandal, like Kashmiri players targeted in a South Indian state. And those guys wouldn't even know, like, there are actually players sitting inside the bus. They would just see a bus and throw stones. Then who would have contained the situation? Things would have been much worse. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't understand, like, somebody probably said something to Omar Abdullah who did not understand the situation and they thought like they're in danger. Dude, probably some miscommunication happened because they don't speak the same language and everybody's English is not perfect. Somebody tried to say something, somebody understood something else. This is not like concrete, but my theory is somebody from Gokulam tried to tell them like, there is a strike, so if you go outside, it's not very safe. And then, like, somebody maybe from the Real Kashmir FC team thought they were saying like you are not safe here, and somebody called up some politician and said like we don't feel safe here. So see, you understand like how little bit of miscommunication can create so much.
It does happen, but I think what was required from both teams did come out towards at least before the game that both teams made peace and put it to rest by putting out a statement that we want to focus on the better things, we want to focus on what we've come here for, and that was football. I think that was much needed and just calm down before things could have taken an ugly turn. But just coming back to the match, the game did end in a draw, but wasn't a goalless one. Surchandra Singh got the goal for Real Kashmir, and Pritam Singh, I think he got it for Gokulam. And just the way the things are panning out for Real Kashmir, second in the table, giving a fight, giving a run for all the money that they are, and making the right noises. Gokulam FC, started off great in the season. They're still hanging on there. Not too bad position to be in right now. Good working out for Real Kashmir from that away travel, Chiranjit.
Yeah, draw is a fair result for Real Kashmir. They have gotten a good few games at home and taken a lead, and then a little bit of an easy fixtures earlier on as well. I have a theory they will drop points regularly from here on, but it's good to see them fighting it out and getting these points from their travels, because ultimately, like, away games for a team like Real Kashmir playing in the top division for the first time, the way they have been playing, the way they have been amassing points, even got their confidence up by scoring a good few goals against Lajong. It's a good run for them. And if they can hold on to the consistency, they can for a top 4 finish, which is pretty good for them. Yeah. Gokulam Kerala FC is in a little bit of a different situation. They're in the second season at the top division. They should be winning a little more. Right? I mean, they were lucky to get a draw against Mohun Bagan, but they've been active in the transfer market. The team actually has a good amount of budget this time. They've been managing a good squad, and they have a good coach. I thought Gokulam should have taken that game. They had ample chances, quite a few misses. Little bit more accuracy, and Gokulam actually emerges as one of the most, like, potentially one of the best teams in the league. Right now, I would say East Bengal is the best team. The way they have started to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Gokulam are right up there. Gokulam can compete with East Bengal any day, and yeah, I mean, going forward, they will be one of the dark horses in the title race. And it's not that safe for Chennai City anymore. Like 2 draws, and suddenly, what's the situation? It's like I think from 7 matches, it's 12 points for East Bengal. And how many points are Chennai City on? 18 points from 8 matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. So potentially a 3-point gap. So if Chennai City drop points in the next game, which is against Real Kashmir, and if Real Kashmir can plug it out and get a point from the league leaders, all of a sudden East Bengal can touch this thing, Chennai City, and that's such a beautiful game coming up. Churchill Brothers versus East Bengal. So if Churchill Brothers win, even they will be within touching distance of Chennai City. So a lot of people are now putting a dent on that league. So let's see. We're in some very spicy contests as we carry on with the league.
Yeah. Talking about one more interesting game that happened over the weekend was league leaders Chennai City playing Minerva Punjab, and that ended in a goalless draw, but not before the game ended. At an exciting point where Chennai City, could have ended their run of being unbeaten in the league so far. So Minerva Punjab gets a late penalty, and guess what? The Spanish keeper of Chennai City. Look at the signings we talk about. Chiranjeev, you mentioned this in the previous podcast. Now getting in players, getting a foreign keeper for the first time, pays out. And it's saved, and Chennai City was still unbeaten because of that. So just the scare that they had, but things are getting heated up over there. So 2 points drop for both teams, but I think the league just opens up with that one draw that Chennai City had.
Yeah, well, Minerva Punjab, the more I look at them, the more I feel despair, man. Like, defending champions and just stopping points like that. This is exactly what they did not do last time. Like, last season, the run they were on. Imagine if they have a late penalty that's about to steal the game. You would expect 100% of the time Minerva Punjab to produce a chance like that and actually capitalize on those. So it just seems like I'm looking at a very different team, very different squad, very different mentality. I don't know what has happened between because that was just a few months ago. They just don't feel like the same team they were last season, and that's a bit worrying because they're supposed to play ACL, they're supposed to play AFC Cup. Look at both the teams. Chennai FC just lost to Delhi Dynamos at home 1-3. More credit to Chennai FC defense than Delhi Dynamos attack, but that team is dragging its feet, and same thing with Minerva Punjab. Little bit better off, but what can you say when they just waste opportunities like that? And they could have beaten the league leaders. Imagine the place that would have put them in. Imagine the mindset they would have been if they had actually gotten the 3 points. But they have to be satisfied with 1 point, and yeah, it's not good to spice up the title race, and it's not good looking at Minerva Punjab, who are supposed to represent India and Asia in a couple of months.
Yeah,
so, it's a bit sad, man.
Yeah, that's there, and we talk about talking points in the game. So this game was again not short of it. Penalty denied, and we will talk about referee's decision going either way. But that's about it, and we will have those talks ongoing. Yeah. On that note, we will bring the end for today's show, but not before telling you all that we will be talking more on the national team selection for the Asian Cup that's already been put out. We will have something for you coming your way this week. Stay tuned for that. And on the Indian football bit, there's never a moment that we can miss. And we will come back to you next week talking about more of Indian football, the I-League, the ISL that's ongoing. Till then, if you're listening to us on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe. Also, follow TFG @TFG Football for all the Indian football action. And IVM Podcast app is what you want to download from the Android and iOS platforms. A lot more podcasts for you to listen to. Some great topics to be listening on. And so that is it from Chiranjit and me, Kevin here. We will catch you up in another episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Till then, have a great week ahead. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to listen to attempt number 15 to record the promo for the podcast Vartalab.
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 All day, all night, Vartalab.
Oh yeah. It's a really nice podcast, guys. It's with me and Naveen, and it has really nice stories.
Yeah, people come tell their stories, ups and downs, fun times. We all cry at the end. It's like a Karan Joy movie, but in 1 hour or less.
Yay.
Yeah, every Monday. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance. From stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Vaisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.